Hari Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pasyema Akshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangaiः Tushtuvagum Sastanubhih Vyasema Devahitam Yadayuः Swasti na Indro Vruddhasravaः Swasti naha Pusha Vishwavedaः Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanemiः Swasti no Bruhaspatir Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Om Shanti 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 Om Agne Nayasupatharaye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayurani Vidwan Yuyodhyasmajjuhuranameno Bhuishtham Te Namavuktim Vidhema Om Shanti 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 Om Brahman Brahmano Brahmavarchasi Jayatamārāshtre Rajanyasūrai Shavyoti Vyadhi Maharatho Jayatam Dugdhridhenuhu Odhanadvana Sussapti Purandhiryosha Jishnurateshta Sabheyo Yuvasya Yajamanasya Viro Jayatam Nikame Nikamena Parjanyo Varshato Alavatyo na Oshadayaha Pachyantam Yogatshemo Naha Kalpetam Om Shanti 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 Om Apyayantu Mahangani Vakpranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarotu Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Niradeya Upanishadsu Dharmaha Te Mayi Santu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Swasti. So today we have the prayer repeated, fixed in the Adhyayana Kendram for the past several years. And in this particular set of prayer, we get a lot of benefit. Because in the very first mantra, we say, Sthirairangaihi Tushtuvagam Sastanubhihi. So we are all wearing the tanu, the body meant for growth. It cannot remain stable. Jayate, parinamate, vardhate, mriyate cha. Decay is there soon after the birth. Development is there soon after the birth. Changes in the features of the body, mind and spirit also are there. So nothing is stable. Because of that, we make a prayer to Indra, Pushan, Garuda and Brihaspati to give us happy, continuous, workable, enthusiastic health and encouragement. And all that is being indicated with the word Swasti, Sukham Asti, Sutaram Asti, Sushtu Asti, etc. That is how we understand by the word Swasti. So much of meaning is implied in that. But what we want ultimately is Sukham. That is, whatever time we are on, that time must be comfortable, not being exposed to any kind of disturbances or diseases. And in the last mantra which we recited, that is there that Sarvam Brahma. So, Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. And everything in the world is Brahma. Brahma means important. And you have got your Viveka to choose among the important things. Therefore, Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. And how are you able to uncover that? Ya Atmani Nirate. You have to concern primarily with yourself regarding the behavior of the mind, body, and spirit. People are conscious more on mind and body, or body only, mind little, and spirit rare. But there should be harmonious, judicious attention to all these three so that our life will be a fulfillment. Then all dharmas which have been established in Upanishads or in scriptures, all that will come and take seat in you, make a ready man. Something like Francis Bacon said. He said that conversation, writing, and speaking. So the writing, speaking, and also these three things will make people complete, a ready man. That's exactly is the message which is being given to us in Mahanarayana Upanishad, which we are going to learn and study, and at its conclusion part of the Upanishads. Because no Upanishad is called Maha Upanishad. All Upanishads get the name as Vedopanishad. Because Veda is knowledge, Gnana. And Rahasya Gnana is being uncovered by several thousands and thousands of Maharshis. Because all Maharshis, all Rishis, all great saints and philosophers are interested to uncover the knowledge, uncover the truths of life, to be able to determine dharma and adharma, and also ability to drop adharma and to stick on to dharma, to drop apunya or papa and stick on to punya. So how can that punya come to us? Very interesting. A Yajurveda, being a sacrificial Veda, a sacerdotal Veda, a practical manual, one of its, Taittiriya Aranyaka Upanishad, it gives you a clue that tapasvi punyo bhavati, tapasvi punyo bhavati. How do you become a tapasvi? And after having become or used to be in the discipline of tapas, what are you going to be like? What is your goal? That's why beautiful word. Tapasvi punyo bhavati. There, anybody who has that kind of concentrated conscious job, he will become a punyavan, punyo bhavati. And again, punya is obtained only through tapas. So tapas and punya, they are complementary to each other. And therefore, you observe tapas to be able to have a Vedadhyanam for any amount of time per day allotted to us in our life. That Vedadhyana time itself is a great boon, anugraha of Paramatma, and therefore we are trying to spare some time to study the mind, the message, the instruction, the suggestion, etc., given by elevated souls, intelligent souls, the Maharshis, Rishis, and so on. And in Devi Suktam, we have learned that only because of the Devi Shakti Anugraha, Rishir Bhavati, and if to become a Rishi, or to become a Sudhi, or to become a soldier, Veera, all that is only due to the impulsion and bestowing the powers by Devi, and therefore not going much on this kind of introduction to Mahanarayana Upanishad. We'll just go into the section where we are at, where we are just going to have knowledge about the Atma Yajna or Atma Gnana or something about your Atma. We all know that we always subsist two kinds of Atmas. Two kinds means they are combined in us. We are composite of that. One is Paramatma's presence inside us, and another is our body, which we are looking before a looking glass, the mirror. Every day we see our mirror, we stand before the mirror and consider, oh, we are very handsome, very beautiful, and we don't know the thick hair goes thinner and thinner as the age advances, and you don't know how the hair falls. The hair does not fall in bunches, like in a cutting, like by a barber. No, it just falls. But you cannot know how the hair goes away. That's how the life. We consider we are always happy. We are not undergoing any change, but change is imminent and it is happening. And therefore, that kind of change that we experience in our life is exactly what you call as gnana. And gnana is to be uncovered. There are different kinds of jnanas are there. Atma jnana, Paratma jnana, Antaratma jnana, Bhuta jnana, etc. All that comes under the scope of gnanam. Therefore, the gnanam has been characterized as a part of effort. And it all depends upon the amount of effort you put off in order to uncover the heights of knowledge. Therefore, in the Gnana Yagnam, we are able to notice that our body is a very interesting mechanism. And that mechanism is also implied, connected to the performance of yajna. And so the Gnana Yajna begins with the expression Om Tasyaivam Vidusho Yagnasya Atma Yajamanaha. See, Yajamanaha, Yaj is worship. Yajamanaha means who takes the role of worshipper or who becomes a worshipper. A worshipper has got so many features and characters and also conditions and discipline. So when once you become Yajamana, what is the primary thing that you should know? So Atma Yajamanaha. When you want to know about the knowledge, Vidushaha Yajnaha, Vidusha, Yajamana, Kaha Yajamanaha. Who is that Yajamana? Yajamana is a Vidush, or he is a scholar. He is a Vidwan. So Evam Vidushaha Atma Yajamanaha. We have explained this saying that everything begins from the Yajamana. That is the man. And from man, the woman comes, joins him with different features and setup. And therefore, both of them make the sacrifice. Look here, Yajamanaha Sraddha Patni. So any sacrifice has got to be done when together with the wife or together. That's why, but only in respect of Paramatma, Parameswari, it is little lenient. In Lalita Sahasranamam, we get the expression to her as she is alone performing, where she is containing Shiva in him. Therefore, the Dampatis are performing Yajamana Yitri. So she is the Yajamana Yitri. She is Yajamana Swarupini, Yajna Swarupini, and all that. So and we have got also to revise what are the accessories that are involved in the performance of yajna. That is separately understand. One is that idma, vedi, barhi, yupa, ajya, pashu, and agni, shamayita, dakshina, and vaku, hota, udgata, adharyu, manuhu, and shrotram, and all that. And ultimately, all these things, when you adopt yourself, that's exactly called Diksha. So Dikshavan means you have taken to the discipline of performing a sacrifice with some conditions. And then we went on talking about further regarding the yajna is srotram, then Agni, then Havihi, Somapanam, then Upasadaha, see, Uttisthati, and Pravargya, and Ahavaniya, Vyahruti, Vignanam, Juhoti, and all that. So, when is the time to perform all this kind of yajna? And when we identify with that, Sayam, Prataha, and because the food, we are always eating food for 2 days, 2 times per day minimum. And because our hunger is quenched and subsisted up to 12 hours per day. So there is also a period of gapping. That gap is important when once you fill your stomach. Supposing you take your food at 12 o'clock as a part of lunch, again that lunch time will be another day, not the same day. The items and the menu will change. So Sayam Pratah, and therein we are Madhyan, and also so far as the Savanas are concerned, they are all 3 Savanas are there, and we have come up to Darsha Purnamasavu, that is Ahoratre, Ahaha and Ratri, and they are all being formed with new moon and full moon. Today is a full moon day, Kartika Suddha Paurnima, and still we have got that effect of Kartika Suddha Paurnima, a very important Paurnima of Paurnimas. We know that among several 12 Purnimas, the 4 Purnimas are recognizably great. Whatever Upasana, whatever Adhyayana, whatever japa, whatever Abhisheka, etc., you do it on these days especially, and Devi Devata Aradhana today will be very influential. So that's why Darshamasa and Purnamasa. On Darshamasa, up to 1 to 15, Lalita Parameswari, on Lalita Parameswari, Durga Parameswari, and from 1 to 15, Amavasya, Durga. But Durga and Lalita both are same. You should not have a demarcating like one is an executive head, another is a supervisory head. But of course, their positions will be also alternately taken up. Therefore, then the time division comes up here, and that also we have covered. Because Ahoratre, Savanani Ahoratre, and Darsha Purnamasa. So Darsha Purnamasa Yajna is a primary important yajna to start with. Darsha is Amavasya, Purna is Paurnami. So Paurnamyam Chandrabimbe, Paurnamasyam Chandrabimbe Pasyet Srimat Lalitambikam. And Surya Bimbe Pasyet Srimat Durga Ambikam. So you can see Surya Bimba and Chandra Bimba, and accordingly the Durga and Lalita are being characterized for our convenience. Actually, they are all Adishakti Swarupinis, and therefore we are, because the division of labor, division of functioning, division in the organizational abilities and duties, very important for us, because in this world, people are all born with different faculties, skills, and expertise. A doctor cannot be an engineer cannot be a doctor. But their functions and their direction of achievements and success and fame are quite different. But still, all this will constitute the nature of the work, nature of the world, I'm sorry. So nature of the world is that. That's why Kalidasa tells us that Traigunyodbhavamatra lokacharitam nanarasam sevate. In Malavikagnimitra, he says, lokacharitam, the behavior of people is again with reference to three gunas, sattva, raja, and tamo. So that being the case, we have that Darsha Purnamasa Yajna, and then we come to the unit of time. Now I am just reading from that. Chaturmasyani rutavaste pasubandha ye samvatsarascha parivatsarascha Tehargana sarvaveda etat satram yanmaranam tadavabrutha etadvai jara maryamagnihotram satram ja evam vidvan. So, who is a vidvan? This is always a recurring question in all fields. And rahasya veda na yasya dosha gnana yasya saha vidvan. Anybody who is able to diagnose the difficulty or merit in the thing is called a vidvan. And here also, a vidvan is a gnani and he knows about the gnana. And here samvatsaraha, the years, and the year also is having a cycle of it. Samvatsara, Varivatsara, Ahargana, and Sarvavedasam. So in Yajurveda, we have got separate mantras where the number of or the nature of the year is being described. At the same time, the collectivity of some group of years and or the revolvement of the year by year. Parivatsara is paritaha vatsaraha, parivatsaraha, and that is the time is universal. It is not at all sectional. So everybody is born in time, lives in time, departs in time. So this kind of cycle will keep going on and on. That's why we have also to make a regard for the parivatsaras. And that is again called as satram, maranam, avabrutham, and jaramaryam, agnihotram, and satram. So satra is a separate word, it has got great meaning. It's a long drawn sacrifice. Maybe for some years it will go on, and we get some details about the satra in our ritual texts, also in Bhagavatam and in Ramayana, but we don't get details about satram. In fact, it is said in the Suddhakanda, when once the Pattabhishekam for Sri Ramachandra took place, when all those who attended the Pattabhishekam or the coronation ceremony of Sri Ramachandra was over, everybody who came departed. The Vanaras and Vanara king, the Bhishana, the Rakshasas, and all people left the Ayodhya. And then at that time, there was also the Rishyasringa Mahamuni. Then he spoke to the son-in-law of Dasaratha, and who the husband of Shanta Devi, and he told, Attagaru, Mirantha Randi, Masramaniki Eldam, Akkadiki Elli, Ali Hogbettu, now Satravannu start Madana, and keep Rama and Sita alone. Let them have their administration and ruling of the land. Let's go away, because enough that we are there here, thinking about Rama and wishing for his prosperity and success and return, etc. So anyway, the Satram has got that Satram means that which will be protective or shielding of the good things. So that is an actual place. At a place we perform sacrifice, and you invoke all the gods, you feed all the gods, and it's a big program. And Satram. And in fact, Satram also is called as a kind of place for doing Yagnam. And you remember, we had in earlier years separately some accommodation being spared for people to take food. The visitors, the people who travel, the travelers, they were not going to the hotels. They used to go to this, and where food is served freely for them. So mathas are there for sleeping, satras are there for eating or feeding them. So in earlier days, we had satrams and mathas, where people used to go, matham nidra, satram tindi anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. The concept is not known to the youngsters now because the days and times have changed very greatly. And the history is going to be dull unless you go to study them. But history is important because history talks about the background with which we are all projected out. Charita, that's why it's called itihasa in Sanskrit. They call it iti, ha, asa. Iti is quotation ends or the event ends or the past. And ha means aschariyam. You only wonder how your young days went off, how the official days went off, and all that becomes a part of history in you. That's why ha, asa is a past verb, is a verb, past tense. Asti is present, asa is the past tense. So how the life went by, how that bygone days in English they say it. So this kind of itihasa or the history that we are all having the backdrop of our culture, civilization, activity, discipline, relationship, etc. And then, so evam vidwan and Jaramaryam. See, Jaramaryam Agnihotram. See, this is Maryam belonging to man or human life. And human life ends with the old age. And when we are supposed to be living up to the last brim of cup of the life and not simply have departure in before. That's why dirghayuhu agne dirghayustvam in Chamaka, you make a prayer, dirghayutvam chamena mitram chame yagnena kalpetam. Also you say, emaschama itischame gatischame yagnena kalpetam. You must mark these names. I mean, mark this. Simply, this is a Kartik Masa. You should not run with Jatka speed or a spaceship speed. You should go, try to be as much as slow and reciting the Rudram and Chamakam, wherewith you are also following the communication which our Rishis have done to us. I told you, Dirghayutvam chame, anamitram chame. So let my Dirghayu uninterrupted by the enemies. Anamitram also is disease, rogas. They will simply take away your precious life. You have to apply leave, not being able to go to office if at all you are sick. Therefore, Dirghayutvam chamena mitram chame and abhayam chame. Bhaya andre roga, abhaya andre arogya. So in arogya also to be maintained. That's why we make a prayer to the Krishna of our Guruvayur Pura. Amarogarasim nirundhi vatalaya vasa Vishnu. So vatalaya vasa Vishnu is he has to stop the rogarasi or drive them away. And roga ultimately, what does it mean? It means birth and rebirth. Maranam, death and death. This is roga. And that roga has got to be put an end to, nirundhi, put a stop. So if you are able to perform this kind of gnana yagna, then we have got atma yagna, gnana yagna, havir yagna, etc. These are all the names of, attributes to the yagna characterization. So gnana yagna is ultimate. Atma yagna is ultimate. So that you are doing it when Anupakarma day compulsorily. Anupakarma is almost a repetition of the Upanayanam in a simple manner. See, macro and micro forms are there. So when you do it elaborately, the Brahmopadesham, Upadesam in Upanayanam. So many people come, so many rites and all that. But in Upakarma, though it is a small rite, but it is Upanayana only, trying to rehaul our Vedic learning and also get permission from Brahmadeva to continue our Veda Adhyayana. So Anadhyatana, Adhyatana. So this is how the Upakarma also is meant. And remember that Vidwan, Evam Vidwan means anybody's Yajnopavita has got expiry date. So from Shravana Masa to Shravana Masa, it is a date. And you have to change your Yajnopitam on Upakarma day because the expiry on or before you do it when some Saucham strikes you. Otherwise, that Yajnopitam will be there on you as a shock absorber because it has all the Gayatri power inside the Yajnopitam, and you cannot remove the Yajnopitam after being introduced to that. That's what investiture ceremony in English they call it. Investiture means that particular power is being invested in you. People don't know much about the value, validity, and importance, and the power and influence of that. So they just play with the Yajnopitam. No. Therefore, here, Yaha Satram Evam Vidwan, then Ayana, so Buddha, then what is the consequence when once you are having that kind of Gnana Yajna being observed by you, then you become eligible for still better things. See, betterment is not in life completely ending by owning a big house, a good house, and by owning a big vehicles, or by owning something like that. However much decoration and ornamentation that you do to your bedroom in your house, that's all no meaning. Because when once you go into your bed, upon your bed, when you get good sleep, all that is nil. And how long you remain in your bedroom? You are found mostly in the drawing hall or in the kitchen or elsewhere in the house. You will not, when once you are out from your bedroom, you will never go back to bedroom until night or when you are sleepy, when you want to completely relax horizontal to the earth. Otherwise, you are perpendicular to the earth, doing one or the other activity. Therefore, so what are the yajna phalam? Gnana yajna phalam. That Gnana Yajna Phalam is being given in the concluding lines of the Mahanarayana Upanishad. I'm just reading the text, afterwards I explain to you. Then you will realize when you have been the students of Mahanarayana, Adhyayana and Adhyapana and Parayana and all these features, then you realize why you have been a students of this particular Mahanarayana Upanishad, a very important Upanishad belonging to Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda, which has got some practical ritualistic solutions and behavioral excellence. Now look at it. Evam vidvanu dagayane pramiyate. Evam vidvanu dagayane pramiyate. Devanameva mahimanam gatva. Devanameva mahimanam gatva. Adityasya sayudyam gacchati. Atha yo dakshine pramiyate. Pitrunameva mahimanam gatva. Chandramasa sayutyagum salokatamapnoti. Etau vai surya chandramaso mahimanau. Etau vai surya chandramasau mahimanau. Brahmano vidvan. Brahmano vidvan. Abhijayate. Abhijayati tasmat. Brahmano mahimanamapnoti. Mahimanamapnoti. Tasmat brahmano mahimanam. Tasman brahmano mahimanam. So this is a very important section. which we will be able to notice. And in the next session, I like to introduce here and there some snippets about the importance of the Mahanarayana Upanishad. I hope I can complete within the stipulated limited time today the advantages, the Phalasruti of the Mahanarayana Upanishad. So, pramiyate, that is important verb, you have to note it. And mahimanangatva is another section, another gain. And then sayujyam gacchati, that is third gain. And he will pitrunam eva mahimanam, he will be able to realize at the same time the power, the influence of the Pitru Devatas. You understand? Then the Udagane Pramiyate means the engineering starts. Whether you call it as outer engineering or inner engineering or engineering, that is, you will be steering out, you will be measuring out yourself to the heights of spirituality. So spiritual heights end up when you get merged into Paramatma or Parabrahma. Therefore, so you should know there is always a goal set by everybody. Every event of life has got a goal, has got a purpose, that's why whoever it is, whether a learned man, an educated man, a fool, a brute, or anybody who takes the human form, because more power and liability for growth of intelligence is vested only in man. The intelligence keeps on growing, becoming sharpened and sharpened and sharpened. That's why in Sanskrit, they just distinguish two ways. All those who are sharp in intelligence, quick in intelligence, quick in able to recognize the events and also work out the necessary solution or way out for that, they're all called intelligent people, Gnanis, and that intelligence or Dhi Shakti is called as Kushalagra Buddhi, Kushagra Buddhi. Kushagra Buddhi means the Kusha, Darbha grass at the bottom is round and all that. But as it grows higher and higher, goes to the tip is very much sharp. Therefore, that is called Agra Bhaga of the Darbha grass stands for the sharpness and quickness of the intelligence. And you know, Darbha is a very powerful blade also, both sides, that is able to cheda, able to cut out. So, see in Svetasutara Upanishad, you are going to get expression that mrityu pasa cheda is important. That is, unless you try to cut totally the strings of the rope or connections, then the ropes they are called, you will not be allowed to go up the heights. Mrityu pasan chedayitva, and even in the Namakam, Rudra mantra, there it says that bandhana mrityo muchiya. So from all the bandhanas, he has to cut down muchiya. And chedana is an important word. Even in respect of trees, the mula cheda is important. The trunk also to be uprooted right from the earth. The deep roots are there. You have to cut the roots and take out the stump. Then you have no problem about the regrowth of the tree, or the pranam is completely taken out. That is the moksha of every tree, as we are seeing practically. So, here, what we want, when we are such a people, and opposite to that intelligence or Dhi Shakti, what you call as Kushalagra Buddhi, The opposite one is called Musalagra Buddhi. Musala andre, it is a, Musala means the pestle. You know the bottom of the pestle and up of the pestle will be completely round. Chakratunda. Chakratunda, or it will be like a chakra, or it will be completely flat and little bulged. So, and circular. It means there is no scope for any kind of intelligence to flow forth. So this is all psychology department question and discussion and all that. Try to measure the IQ, intelligent quotient of the people born, or people who have got achievements, who have got grown well. Anyway, all that will be coming under the word pramiyate. Minoti, miyate means measure. Pramiyate means absolute measurements. Strong growth. What is a measurement? Measurement is only to talk about the growth, the gauging of your growth, grazing of the dimensions, grazing of the magnitude. So your growth of intelligence or spiritual growth is being given impetus. And that impetus begins from what? Is again a question. See, udagayane pramiyate. Vidwan evam vidwan udagayane pramiyate. We cannot remain stagnant at all. Your salary gets increment every year by year. Ultimately, when you retire, you can have a high amount of your retire. Then they will call, every time you are being paid dearness allowance. So the dearness allowance also will keep varying from time to time. That's exactly what you call as pramapana. Pramapana is trying to measure, and the manner how it is being measured is also important. So in fact, in physics or in engineering, you study on measurements. That itself becomes a big department of study. There are people who have taken PhDs or doctorate degrees on measurements. So the pramapana is an interesting thing, and that pramapana, if you want to have in respect of your spiritual growth, I believe that we should have this kind of complementary understanding or composite understanding of our personality, our body. Paramatma has given body as a part of tool only for all kind of development. If you don't use the tool appropriately at proper situations and improve, then the problem continues to be the same. That's why Kalidasa said beautifully in Kumara Sambhavam, Sariram Adhyang Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. Because he just told this particular clue to all people in the world as a part of message when Parvati decided to go for penance. Tatha samatsham dahata manobhavam bhagna manoratha sati nininda rupam hrudayena Parvati. So in the very first sloka, you see that when once her beauty failed to attract the attention and love of Rudra or Shiva, then she understood this body, Nininda Rupam Hrudayena Parvati. Whatever beauty, whatever handsomeness, whatever wealth that you are always aware is not at all permanent. Anything is pliable for repair and diminish. Nininda Rupam Hrudayena Parvati. But then what is her decision? Only dharma sadhana, only tapo sadhana, and that is for that sariram is important. So how you utilize your body is an important thing. That's why sariram sadhanam. Our body is a sadhana, sadhana, sadhya, siddhi. These are all the words are there in that. That's exactly all come under the heading of the word pramiyate. I think so. So siddhartha, siddha sankalpaha, siddhidaha, siddhi sadhanaha. That's what we find in Vishnu Sahasranamam. So you understand our scriptures all put together is a complete total website. If at all you want to understand the scriptural things, you have to go to another scripture for clarity. Where problem arises, solution also is thereat. Therefore, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಅನುಮಾನ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಗಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ? ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋ ಗಾಡ್. ಸೊ ನೋ ಗಾಡ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅಸ್ತಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೇತಿ ಚೇದ್ ವೇದ. ಉಪನಿಷತ್ tells you ಅಸ್ತಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೇತಿ ಚೇದ್ ವೇದ ಸಂತಮೇನಂ ತಥೋ ವಿದುರಿತಿ ಅಂತ Taittiriya Upanishad will tell you. So if you start with this assumption that there is Brahma, there is measurements, there is growth, there is also goal-reaching facilities, then it is called Vidwan. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನಗಳಿದೆ. There are many interpretations and all that for this particular statement found in the Mahanarayana Upanishad. And whatever sessions that we are holding will be only a small contribution in our own way, that we will be able to like and appreciate and follow some things that have been given to us by the Mahanarayana Upanishad Kara Maharishad. So I hope you understand. Adhyayana. Ayana is the journey. Adhyayana is to forward journey. So you cannot remain the same forward journey. ದೊಡ್ಡವರೊಬ್ಬರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, when you want to start, when your engine is started in your car or vehicle, you just push a little forward and then go backing. ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಬ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, a little forward and backing. In the same manner, our Gopal ji, our yoga teacher, has given instruction to all sadhakas and students sitting there. Whenever they start pranayama, he will say, close your eyes and then observe your breath for a while and then start pranayama. You observe. So you have to study your own breathing. Again, Gopal is starting yoga classes. Congratulations to him. You convey to him that because yogenante tanutyajam. Kalidasa said, ultimately you have to desert your body, not your body desert you. That's what Kalidasa says. All Raghus deserted their body by their own choice, but not by the choice of the body. But usually what happens is the ulta. By the choice of the body, people get out. So I think Udaganayana, we have to be always looking for a progressive life. And that progressive life has been pointed out to us, ekachame, tisraschame, panchachame, saptascha, like that it goes on. And also chaturthaya, so ashtauchame, dvadasachame, shodasachame, what is that? So we cannot always name them 1, 2, 3, but you have also the collective mentioning of your desires connected to your body, mind and spirit, and all that being yagnena kalpantam. That's important suchana. Anyway, so I think you understood Udagayane Prameyate. Then in that growth or progressive nature of our life further, first post is Devanam Mahimanam Eva. You have to understand the influence and power of the gods or power of light. See, Gayatri Upasana. What is Gayatri Upasana? Gayatri Upasana is the Upasana of the light. Varenyam Bhargaha Devasya Savituhu. And Varenyam Bhargaha means the choicest effulgence of the divinity or bright Surya Bhagavan, who is the impeller. Bhargo Devasya, and that you have got to meditate. Dhimahi. Why? Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Dhiyaha is Paramatma. Deva, all gods are taken to be the representatives or embodiment of Dhiyaha, intelligence. What you cannot solve, gods can solve that. So that's why we always make the prayer to all gods whenever it is that. So for example, in Ganapati Upanishad, you always say that your last line, you talk about that. Om Namo Ratapataye Namo Ganapataye Namah Pramathapataye Namaste Astu Lambodharaya Gadantaya Vighna Vinasine Sivasutaya Sri Varadamurtaye Namaha. There you observe Varadamurtaye Sivasutaya Namaha. That's exactly what is called as Devanameva Mahimanangatva. So you are always enjoying the scope to understand, getting under the magnetic influence of the Paramatma or gods. So Mahimana Mantra, magnetism, that you are experiencing every day. Whenever you go to temple, when you cross the border of the Dhvajastambha in the temple, which means that you are under the magnetic field of the god or devata that is there in the sanctum sanctorium deposited for you, or installed, or pratisthapana kalpa. So pratisthasi, pratishthavanto bhuyasma. You always make prayer because you are established. We also want to get to be established in fame and name. So I think you understand Devanam eva mahimanangatva. So you have to go to Surya Mandala. You have to go to the higher regions of brilliance and brightness and happiness and uninterrupted happiness also. That's why Devanam Mahimanam. And then after having gone up to the understanding or gone into the magnetic field of the all gods, next, where are you going? You must have that. You must have the destiny, the destination for your journey always. Without destination, you cannot move at all. So movement means fix the destination. So what is the destination? Adityasya sayujyam gacchati. So you then was gatva gacchati. Please observe these two words. Gatva is in Sanskrit called avyaya. What is avyaya? What is indeclinable? The action is incomplete. Because after this, there is something yet to go. In other words, you tell that it is called kama. So gatva is kama, gacchati is full stop. So what is the procedure, or what is the progress, and what is the object of movement of you having had the gnana yagna anubhava in you, having had this kind of nyasa? What is gnana yagna? Gnana yagna is nyasa. You have learned that nyasa is also most important thing that we have been told. So nyasaha paramam vadanti. So here in the gnana yagna sadhana, you have got so many things being pointed out to you, that dharma is there, prajarana is there, and all that. Then ultimately at one place, you have got a nyasa. So nyasa is this kind of thing that we are all going through in this. See, the Gnana Sadhana Nirupanam before, you got Etan Yavara. See, Parohi Brahma, Taniva Etani, Avarani, Paragumsi, Nyasayeva, Atyarechatu Yat Devayam Veda, Upanishatu. So, Gnana Yagna is a Nyasa Yagna, in other words. That's why we are all fond of doing Lagunyasa Purvaka. Rudra Abhisheka, Ekavara, and Ekadashavara, Rudra Abhisheka. Probably yesterday, in somebody's house, you must have gone through. Moreover, there is also Purnima beginning yesterday. That is Monday. Today is Tuesday for you, night, but for us, it is morning. Still, some Purnima is there in another country. So, why you should do that Nyasa? Because Nyasa is a most important eligibility and security that you are doing. See, Dashanga Raudri Karanam, Shodasanga Raudri Karanam, immediately you have got to Atmaraksha Kartavya. That's what is given by the rishis, because unless you take some kind of security and permanence and then not instability, when once you have that nyasa, you must be proceeding in that. So something like emplaning. When you emplane, you are in sky. When you deplane, then you are on the ground. So emplaning is called as nyasa, mahanyasa. I hope if you are all willing, I don't know after this Mahanarayana Upanishad what else you want to choose, please put in your WhatsApp. All of you are requested to put your desire to next Adhyayana that we can take up in the same course of life. So anyway, you understand? So the M plane and D plane. So M planing is what is called as nyasa. And when once you M plane, where are you going to be ultimately settled down? Adityasya sayujyam. You are going to settle down you will be together with the Aditya Mandala. Sarvaireva Vibhasate. You already come across the description of Aditya Mandala. What is Aditya Mandala? Aditya Mandala, Aditya Mandale, Brahmopasana. So you have been given in Mahanarayana Upanishad, when once you go to Aditya Mandala, what is that you are going to have? Actually, Aditya Devata mantras are there, and the Gayatri mantras are there, and Bhudevata mantras are there, and Shiva. And before we get on to the Aditya Purusha, Sarvatmakatva Pradarsanam, and Shivopasana mantras, you have got to do Aditya Mandale Parabrahmopasana. So when it is said that Adityasya Sayujyam Gacchati means what is the Sayujya or work to be executed or experienced during the Aditya Mandala. Again, I revise you. Adityova Yeshaha etan mandalam tapati. Yes, what is there? Tatra taha ruchaha rucha mandalam rucham lokaha eshaha etasmin mandale archihi dipyate tani samani etan mandale archishe purushaha tani jugumshi yedusha mandalagum sayedusam lokaha Saishatrayeva vidyatapati yeshontaraditye iranmaya purushaha. This is what is exactly called Sayujyam Gacchati. And what is that Aditya? When once you go to Aditya Mandala, what is there Aditya? That also is being given to us by Maharshi here, because he calls it as a Mahanarayana. So he says, Adityo vai tejaha ojaha balam yashaha chakshuhu srotram atma manaha manyuhu manuhu mrityuhu satyaha mitro vayuhu akashaha pranaha. Then lokapalaha kahkim kam tat satyam. Amele tat satyam annam amrutam jivaha vishvaha. And katamasvayambhu brahma etato amruta esha purushaha esha bhutanamathipatihi brahmanaha sayujyagum salokatamapnoti etasameva devatanagum sayujyagum sarstitagum samanalokatamapnoti ya evam vedeti upanishato. So you understand, I told you just now that any question or any inquiry will always have an answer. No question is without answer. On ordinary plane, so our Narayana Upanishad, Mahanarayana Upanishad Brahma or seer has given us the experience of the Devanam Mahima. At the same time, the Adityasya Sayujya Mahima. So Devata and Aditya, because Aditya Mandala is the place where all gods are there. And Aditya Mandaladalliro Brahma Kanti idiyalla, Varchassu, Varendyam Bharga, adu Gayatri Devi. Devana, in Gayatri Upasana that you make, Devanam dhamanamasi Vishwamasi Vishvayuhu Sarvamasi Sarvayuhu Abhibhuvaha Om. Then Gayatri Mavahayami, Savitri Mavahayami, Saraswati Mavahayami, Chandarushin Mavahayami, Sriyamavahayami, Balamavahayami, Gayatriya Gayatri Chando. So this particular section in Sandhya Vandana, which we recite every 3 times per day. As a spiritualist, as a real upasaka, then what are you doing? Balamavahayami, Sriyamavahayami, and Chandarushinavahayami. So all the rishis come and take seat in you. All Vedas come and take seat in you. It is something like when you sit for doing Kalasharadhana, Ka is water, La is the stationing, bringing, Sha is stationing. So Kalasharadhana means the water is being worshipped, that is being brought for Devata Puja. You cannot do puja to God, it's raw water. Just you can't collect water from the overhead tank and then try to pour water to him. No, you have to collect the water down from the lower level. Udhruta paribhuta bhiradbhi karyam paricharetu. So always you should draw water from down to up. That kind of water only you should worship. That's why you bring river water or tank water or the well water, whatever water that is drawn from down to upwards. Uddhrutaha. That's why the spoon that you use is called Uddharani. Uddharani means that's the sacred spoon, what you call, will help you to bring the earth, to bring the water from down to up. Therefore, ನೀವು ಉದ್ಧರಣಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಉದ್ಧರಣಿ is also a sacred ritualistic animal. That's what is the Yagnapatra it is. So I think we'll get it at Pramiyate, then we go to the Pitrunam Mahimanam. And tomorrow I hope to conclude this Mahanarayana Upanishad. You're all welcome back again. Thank you very much. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunattu, Sahaviryam Karavavahi, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Sri Veda Purusha Sirvadostu. Om Tat Satu.